You don't have to applaud for Gavin, but you can if you want to. Gavin, please! Barbara, you want to join us out here? Barbara, don't come in. And where is my lovely Texas? Where is she?
Kathleen!
She's in the back.
Someone get Kathleen!
Kathleen! This is the voice of your life.
Kathleen, button your shirt and report at the front, please. Alright, well, we won't wait. God knows what she's doing back there. Let me guess, hitting people in the balls and taking pictures of it, right? Okay. It's going to be awkward if we stand, so we're going to sit.
For those of you guys, you can see we have a microphone stand back there, guys. Make your way towards the microphone stand should you have a question.
Let's turn up here at the front. What is that? We can't get back there. Where's the baby?
We'll see what we can do. You'll have to beg these guys. But we are going to start. I know we have a couple questions that are going to be, we're going to take from the microphone. As we're streaming this as well online on the RVBTO Tiny Chat.
Not so loud. The chat is tiny. It's very tiny. Kathleen, everybody!
I hope somebody has my pink book somewhere. You guys are still circulating? Okay. I think it's in the back. All right, all right.
Excuse me, her pink what? Okay, well, first of all, I know I just showed up. You guys have been here for a couple days, but everybody, welcome to the 8th and final RVBTO. I just have to have a quick show of hands. How many of you have been to all 8 RVBTOs? Right there, right there. That's the perfect attendance bug. Wow, awesome. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
So I have the mic, but I actually don't know what we're doing. So what's the format here?
So did anybody tell Bernie about RTO?
No.
Let's leave him in the dark. We've got a few guys. They decided that RVBTO isn't going to end. Bernie, you can see them just on the left-hand side. They got their RTO 2013. I don't know how you guys feel still working on RVB, but after 7 years of this, we're done. We're too old for this. So that's why we got to have the new kids for RTO 2013. We do have a microphone set up back there. For some of you guys in front, we'll be taking your questions in a little bit as well. I had something else, but I've completely forgotten what it was going to be.
Nathan, did you stretch? You're like slithering through.
I'm tangled in the microphone. All right, guys. So who's got the first one in line back there?
There we go.
Let's start it off.
Barney, I wouldn't walk away because it's
No, I'm walking away.
a very important question more to you. I don't know if Gavin or Lindsay would be able to answer this. For season...
Barbara, do you really not know who Lindsay is? She works with us every day.
Sorry, Lindsay. Not here, but I don't care.
Okay, so for season 9 and 10, will you be revealing the backstory for the director? More specifically, what he will be, was he in fact in the Great War? or what was he doing during that time?
All right, well, first of all, whenever people ask about what's going to happen in the show, I always figured that you would actually like to watch it as part of the show as opposed to hear it at a panel.
I'm not asking the exact details. I'm asking if you're going to be revealing that, or are you going to be just, are you going to bring it out in a different format, or if you're going to just leave that, you know, to the fans' judgments? Because you've already said that the director said in the end of at the season, end of season 8, that he wasn't in the Great War, but he's whatever. Anyways, that in any event, he's clearly in his 50s or something. He would have been in the Great War, and he did specify that Tex or a certain loved one was lost.
Right.
I'm just wondering if you have plans to talk about that in your storyline.
I can say that what we're going to do, everything that we're doing right now in season 10 is to kind of wrap up all the open storylines we have specifically with Project Freelancer. That was the point of season 9 and 10, was to show people that storyline. And so, whether or not we'll show every single thing that you want to see, I can't say. But I can say that it's all that we have planned to tell the Project Freelancer story is in season 10.
Okay.
But I'm going to just say Elvis Presley did not die.
He's dead by now.
I called it! Hang up!
I think Lindsay would know the question.
No love.
Next question.
I wonder what causes that.
It's the speakers.
Right there.
Not enough alcohol.
Hey Bernie. Hey Bernie, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How was your flight?
It was pretty good. It was kind of long. And then when I got to the hotel, the clerk when I was checking in said, you're sharing a room with Kathleen Zelch? And I said, no. And she said, well, she added herself to your room, so nice try.
Damn it.
Very crafty.
Alright, so I have a bit of a gift for you.
A bit of a gift.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gus isn't here, and I know he's a big fan of dubstep, Gangster Cat. But I want to give you a mask that I made.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Thanks, Joe. Actually, I think it'd be cool if you wore it, Lindsay.
That joke ain't gonna die.
No. That is well-established Q&A lore now.
How many people have worn his mask this week?
It's a different one.
Try drinking a beer with it. Oh, you're cheating.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, Bernie, it's kind of for you. With 343 owning all of Halo now and all that stuff, are you guys still friends with Bungie? Are you guys... Do you guys still keep in touch? I know they're pretty busy working on whatever Infinity is right now, but do you guys keep in touch?
Yeah, so Bungie's always been, even when we were working on Reverse Move when they had Halo, they were always pretty secretive. Like, we would find out about, you know, Halo a week before it came out.
Right.
And really wouldn't get to see anything much before that. To answer your question, absolutely, but I still can't tell you anything. Like, I don't know what they're working on. I mean, I've read the speculation that everyone else has, so I'm dying to see what it is that they're coming out with. And yeah, but we talk to those guys all the time. Usually when we go up to Seattle, thank you, yeah, Kirkland, we see them up there. But the other thing too is that, I mean, Bungie and 343 are like these, you know, these names that people associate with these companies. But a lot of times, a lot of the people we know from Bungie are at 343. There were a lot of people who, when the franchise moved, they said, I'm not personally done with Halo, and so they moved with it. So we still see a lot of those, you know, Bungie people as well. They just happen to be at 343 now.
Thanks.
And on that note, bastard. Lucky bastard, because you got access to this stuff early.
Oh.
Mr. White!
Yeah, this is probably
Mr. White.
How did you come up with the names of like the classic Red vs. Blues, like Caboose and Church and
Initially, we just yes, Lindsay.
I was gonna say they're all named after me, but then
They're all variations of burp.
they're all named Lindsay.
Yeah. Like a lot of ones like Church and Tucker, we just chose them because they sounded cool, you know? I like the name Church, and Tucker sounded a little bit like fucker, so Church yelling that all the time sounded fun. I do wish, in hindsight now, that I had spelled Griff with 2 F's, just because it would have made my life a lot easier over the years.
Then it would have been 3 F's.
Yeah, people would have posted with 3 F's. But specifically, Caboose and Donut, we came up with those names because they appeared in episode 3 of the show, and since they were added later, we thought it'd be funny to, if you join a Halo game late, it automatically assigns you a name, and so we chose those character names by just adding in 2 characters, and one was Donut and one was Caboose. And those were as a little bit of trivia, we added the first guy in, the red guy, when he was red, and not Ledge Red. And that was Donut. And then we added the blue guy in, and the default name it gave him to begin with was Walla Walla. We said that's not going to work, so we quit, went back in, and up came Caboose, and that was the birth of Caboose.
You know that's going to be Walla Walla. Rename to
Yeah, Walla Walla. The name Sister just came from, we had a guy that I knew in college, and there was a group of guys who always hung out together, and he had a sister, her name was Lori, but we all just called her Sister. Actually, we all called her Sister, but that's where Sister came from, yeah. I just kind of stole that from my college buddies.
My brother calls me that.
Okay, hey guys. I've had 8 shots, so if this question sounds a little funny, then sorry. But this is actually a question for Bernie specifically, the writer. All the new characters, like the freelancers and such, like they're very well established and very distinct. How do you come up with them, and how do you keep them very distinct among themselves?
Well, I mean, that goes back to the original RVB stuff. When we first started shooting the show, it makes sense now when you go back and look at it, but really when it first started off, it was just 4 Master Chiefs standing around that were all different colors, talking to each other. So we had to write characters that were strong enough to where we could get past that, so people would know who was talking. There's a lot to the machinima part of the show, of like a lot of mechanics. Like if we ever cut to a new shot, the first person who moves in the shot is always the person who's talking, because your eye just goes to the person who's moving first. It's one of those rules, and we kind of established too, we wanted to, after a few episodes, for people to know, you know, when they hear the Huckleberry sounding guy talking, that's Sarge, you know, the lazy guy is Griff. And so that people wouldn't be confused as to what the hell, all these characters look exactly the same and they're slightly different shades of red or slightly different shades of blue. So, it comes from that.
Okay, cool, thanks. As both a fan and a writer, thanks for that answer.
I think.
I thank all y'all for doing what you do.
Yeah. And as a trained writer, I can say that the 8 shots technique that's well studied. That's a good shot. For writing.
Well, following up on him, I'm also in shot for shot with him, so I'm also at 8 shots. So Gav and Barbara, or Barbara Dunkenschnack, posted pictures of themselves with Ed Robertson. Will he be returning, possibly in a flashback, as a young Private Flowers?
Where the fuck were you 2 weeks ago when he was at the office? Thinking of that. Damn. No, maybe we can get him back. No, he was on a tour. He came through Austin, and whenever he comes through Texas, he usually has a day off, and then we just take him out to barbecue all over Texas. How many barbecue places did we go in one lunch?
When I was hired, Bernie told me every new employee at Rooster Teeth gains 15 pounds.
Yep.
We went to go get barbecue in Lockhart. We went to 3 fucking barbecue restaurants. And then got ice cream sandwiches.
Alright.
Yeah, peer pressure. We went to 3 different barbecue places.
I want to be hired now.
Yep.
Don't do it.
You know what I gotta say though? Last week I was in, I'm gonna be very careful about the way I say this, Montreal. I was there for the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. Yeah. That was a blast, by the way. And I went to Schwartz's Deli and had a smoked meat sandwich. That seriously might have been the best smoked meat I've had anywhere in the world. And I knew it was going to be good because it was recommended by the guys from Epic Mealtime. Yeah. So, and it's in their hometown. So, whenever you talk to Harley, after a while, you don't even see a person. It's just a beard talking to you. It's like you're in a Muppet movie all of a sudden.
So, hi to all of you. I got a question for Bernie and Gavin. For Bernie, that blue character we see right now in season 10 and a bit of season 9 during, like, you see the poster. Do we find out who that is?
I'm sure I don't know who you're talking about, sir.
It's like Caboose color. Just a freelancer. He was with York.
The blue ODST character?
Yeah.
Stay tuned, is all I can say.
Alright, and one more for Gavin. Who's your favorite pony?
I have to sit next to Jewel Wheeling. It's in stereo right now. I have to sit next to Michael and Ray every single day. Listen to them. Literally, they just did a video where they were commentating on a Skyrim mod that lets you add My Little Pony into the game. Listening to them talk about that was like I'd flown to Japan and I was just listening to a conversation. I have no idea what any of them saying. I don't know any ponies' names. I'm sorry.
Rainbow Dash!
That's the one, Rainbow Dash.
Thanks. Are you serious?
I'd like to start by congratulating you on reaching 1 billion views on YouTube.
Thank you.
And I've noticed recently that your channel on YouTube has gained over like 250 million views in the last 3 months since you've reached that.
Yep.
And I just want to ask, in like the last 10 years that you guys have been around and all that you've been achieving stuff like that, like where do you see you guys going in the next 10 years the way that this has been snowballing?
1 trillion.
Well, Kathleen, I think your role at Rooster Teeth has changed the most, I would say, over the years. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I originally started as the voice of Tex, and Bernie was the voice of Tex when Tex was a dude, sort of. We didn't know, and then I became the voice of Tex. But
another trivia question: Tex's name originally was Dex, D-E-X. And not
really?
Tex.
I didn't know that.
In the original trailer, it was a D, and then we looked at it and let's change it to Tex.
Texas, so much better.
We want to use Dex for Dexter Griff, so, sorry.
And, but I worked in the animation field. I was producing films in Los Angeles, and the guys always knew that, and I, was hankering for the day that I actually could be a part of the production team. But with Machinima, it doesn't really take a huge team, and which is the great part of Machinima. I mean, you have the director, and you have the guys actually doing the animation. So this year when they said, look, Kath, we want to make a pipeline, we want to have it, like 80% animation, and we really want you to produce, that was actually, and I know this sounds really corny, but it was like the best day of my life, because for 9, because the project meant so much to me, and then to actually be able to make something that was already great even better. So that doesn't have anything to do with what was the question that he asked, though. But thank you. But yeah,
it gives a little bit of perspective as to where we're going.
That's true. And like our goal. I don't know if I can talk. Well, when we first started, I said, well, for me as a producer, I need to know what you want it to look like so that I know exactly how to budget and schedule and hire people. And we were looking at Old Republic, as far as like the look of it, and so
that Old Republic trailer.
The trailer. And so I'm like, all right, game on. Let's with what we have, let's bring it. And the team that we put together is an extremely talented team. And I got to tell you guys, one of the best parts is these guys come to work, and sometimes I'll come in the morning, and I'm like, so did you finish that, blah, blah, blah. They will never have left that night. I mean, these guys work because they love the project so much. They work 24/7, and then I'm like, no, you got to go home and you got to get some rest, because this is ridiculous. But I think it's going to evolve. I think it's going to continue to evolve. So. always laugh at this. When I used to go to events and they would talk about storyline, I would kind of go, oh shit, I don't really know. But now when you produce, you have to know every damn thing that's going on. So I do in fact know the storyline.
Well, I think too, if you look at like essentially we're almost done with our 10th year. So when you look over the course of the first 10 years, it's nuts. Looking at this table right here, as what the representatives of Rooster Teeth, 2 or 3 years ago, half the table would have been out there with you guys. And I think that's a big part of what we do at Rooster Teeth. One of the best things we did right out of the gate was we started the community site. And just so you know, the logic of that was we thought, okay, people will probably stick around for maybe 2 seasons of Red vs. Blue, and it was all that we were working on at the time. We didn't have other shows, and so we put the community site in place in order for the audience and the members to have a place to be, so that when we had something new, we could show it to them. So we thought, okay, well at least if we have these people here and we put up a video, we know at least like 100,000 people will watch it, and that's a good seed to kind of get something going. And obviously it's grown way beyond that now. But the big thing that's come out of the community site is it's become this enormous resource for the company. Most of our hires come from the community. That goes back to like when we hired Luke, even Barbara, Gavin. Michael's an example of somebody we just hired off the internet. But I think it all plays into it, where we just spot people who are doing cool things and try to make them a part of Rooster Teeth if we can do that. So.
Thank you very much.
This morning, Gavin and Barbara said she knew where Tim Horton was, and she took us on a 17-mile walk. But we were talking about how the fact that when I first met them, they were teenagers, and now it's like, which I think you guys should talk about your experience from going from that to where you are now.
I'm much hairier now than I was.
So am I.
It's crazy. I've been coming to RVBTO since I was 16 years old. I've been coming every single year, and it's just incredible to be here 8 years later on this side of the table. It's like the real experience of my life. Like, I'm on this special guest page. What? Like, I remember meeting Bernie at the first event, like just walking in and being like, oh my god, Bernie Burns, hi.
It's so dreamy.
You said it, not me.
That's why I got him in my room. You know what I'm talking about?
My first experience with Barbara, I saw her account, and I almost deleted her account because I thought it was a fake account. I said, they obviously somebody pulled a photo off of some modeling site and just put it on a profile. I said, no way this person watches Red vs. Blue. Delete.
You talked about this on the podcast already.
Did I?
Thank you, Monty.
Now in true Monty fashion, you can't say anything for the rest of your day. You just have to sit
or
there
punch
and go.
a lemon.
Hey, my name's Akib. I just took in that I'm the only brown guy here.
There you go.
Except the guy right next to me. And Django.
Sir, this is what's known as losing the crowd.
First time on my mic. Like for the last 5 minutes, I was just thinking of a gaming question or like something personal or existential. But honestly, later on, you guys are going to sparse out and talk to other people, and it's going to get crowded. So I just want to ask, can I have like a manly hug with Gavin and Bernie at the same time right now?
where the manly comes into play. Hopefully you're gonna bring it.
Don't worry, we got you covered.
Do you want the front or the back?
Fight, kiss.
You have no ass. I just grabbed your ass. Did I miss it?
Because you kicked it in.
You grabbed this.
That's mine. That's mine.
Thought I missed and grabbed your leg.
So this is a question for all four of you. What is your happiest or greatest moment in the last 10 years of Rooster Teeth?
Ooh, yeah.
Be the dick that walks for it, everyone.
September 7th, 2011. That was the day that I got a message on AIM saying, "Hey Barb, we want to offer you the position of community manager at Rooster Teeth."
What we didn't tell her was it would take half a year to get a goddamn visa. Apparently they don't want Canadians to come down and steal jobs from Americans. I don't know what that is.
Send them over to China.
Their favorite day was also September 7th, 2011.
You know when you say it like that? My favorite day was September 7th, 2011. It sounds like you're planning a terrorist attack. It was very quickly muted after it happened, but the moment when I realized that Brandon was gonna touch the electric fence, I can't tell you how much joy was in my heart. I didn't know I could be. What's that?
Sparkly anime eyes.
Yeah, I know. It's RTAA.
That's how the serial killer is.
Yeah, it was dreamy for a second there.
I know there's tons and tons, but I think when I was in Chicago with Gus and we went to the World Series, that was really awesome. But when I got my tattoo of Rooster Teeth and I text Bernie, I go, "Bernie, I got a Rooster Teeth tattoo on my hip," and he texts back, "Why did you do that?"
Is that everybody?
I once accidentally said headlight fluid in a room full of It was kind of fun watching three fully grown men collapse onto the ground with tears and with laughter. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Gavin, for the segue. Now, I've looked on the internet for a recipe for a bar drink for headlight fluid. So, some of my friends of mine have created a headlight fluid drink. Wow! And we get one for each of you.
Oh!
The original recipe was 1 shot of vodka, 1 shot of blue sourpuss, and blue Gatorade.
Orange stuff.
Wait, what's
That's Tabasco.
You haven't asked
Mixed it a bit strong this time. It might need some refinement.
I'm hairy now. Thanks so much.
I think they use the small glasses instead of the large glasses.
Wow. Why is it spicy?
Is that actual headlight fluid?
Yeah, mostly Windex.
What, 2 shots of vodka and some Tabasco?
With blue Gatorade.
Yeah, don't do that.
When I pee later tonight, what's that going to feel like? What color is it going to be?
Orange. Like your shirt. Okay, urinal. Yeah, okay, when we tried it earlier, they gave us larger glasses and we had more Gatorade in it, so it was less strong. So the official recipe is 1 shot of vodka, 1 shot of blue sourpuss, and a cup of Gatorade. And that's the new. That's for all future events. If you go to a bar and order headlight fluid, that would be. I have a. Can I have one-on-ones with you or later for interviews?
Yes.
Thank you. Who's next? Who's next?
Hey there, my name is Charlie. This is a question more for probably Bernie and Kat, since you've been with the company for longer, but it goes to everyone. My question is, like, if you look around, this is the 8th RVBTO. I'm part of the people doing RTO next year, so plug. But aside from that, did you ever think when you started the community that it would grow to be such a thing like this? Like, a couple hundred people coming to Canada to hang out in a bar, and all of the people doing communities like Jeff Ripper doing a CD, Jessica doing his movies, me doing my own to a lesser extent, like all of those big cute things come out of the community. Did you ever expect that would happen when you started this so many years ago?
I was talking to the guys in the back, and this will kind of answer it. I said to them, I don't think Facebook is going to have a get-together, right? It's like this community is probably one of the most amazing communities because everybody loves what everybody's interested in, and it's like a family. It's not, I don't even think it's social media. It's like this is like a family, right?
I think just about every single aspect, the show and the community site and everything else pretty much surpassed our wildest expectations after about 6 months. Yeah, I mean, everything was kind of like that. And that's due to you guys just like taking hold of stuff and running with it. I mean, if you look at RVBTO in a lot of ways is the inspiration for us doing RTX down in Austin. Because you guys showed us that this kind of thing could be done, and then satellite events started to pop up literally all over the world.
What about RTOs?
And RTOs, as an example. Yeah. RT Philly, yeah. And RT Minnesota, and Can West, you know.
Where is RT Hawaii?
It's in Fargo.
We're on the air now. We'll get poutine in Toronto, so everyone comes here.
Sorry guys, just before we get to the next question, we've had some of our friends from CNG Comics and Gaming magazine. I know a few of you guys have filled out some of their raffle prizes. We also have some magazines that we're going to be giving away. We'll have these guys give them away to some of the good questions that have been asked. For those of you guys who have also had those badass posters, again, CNG has done that. So we've got a couple of prizes. There are...
You're really good at that.
Sorry, take a picture first. Yes, there are a couple prizes. The first prize is for a 1-year subscription to CNG magazine, and there are Barbara, pull one out.
John, guess what? Barbara, pull it out.
Yeah, that but number 2, then number 1. Oh, too late. What's the name? Ren Alamizu. Copper_42 at hotmail.com.
Oh, I know Ren. If she's not here, I'll take it.
Oh, Ren, I got that.
Ren, all right.
Make sure she gets it. Make sure she gets it.
Okay.
Well, she's got a 1-year subscription to CNG.
Make sure she gets it. Absolutely.
So we'll have that taken care of.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we'll have that to the guys. Please don't step on anybody. And the next one is for, I believe that's for a guest spot on the podcast, on the CNG podcast.
Nice.
No, it's the CNG podcast, though.
Yes, the CNG podcast, not the Drunk Tank.
The Rooster Teeth podcast.
Liad Newman. Liad.
Newman.
All right. We're going to give this to Joe. They'll get in touch with you guys for a spot there.
Nice.
I think you can pass that down to Joe. And for the magazines here, they'll be giving them out for some of the good questions. So think of something now, guys.
All the way back there. You can't get back there. Yes.
I have 2 questions. One for Bernie, one for Gavin. First, Bernie,
what led you to name the series Red vs. Blue?
Besides the two.
That's a good question. I'm usually really shitty with names, and I feel pretty good about like Rooster's a terrible name. But Red vs. Blue, I'm actually really happy with over the years. So, and it just seemed to fit. You know, it was supposed to be an explanation of what multiplayer gaming is all about. So it just seemed to fit.
And Gavin. I want to know, since you were talking about me earlier, how did the STDs test come back? Positive or negative?
I think my penis is fine.
Yes?
I was peeing back there earlier, and I had to look behind me a couple of times. Everyone knows that story.
Don't worry, I'm sure this drink will burn off anything that would infect you.
Point to that. So, first of all, welcome to Toronto.
Hey!
So, my question is, where did Agent Washington get that twisty straw in the fruit?
That's standard issue.
Of course.
Once you have a helmet, yeah, that's who came up with that? The twisty straw.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it was we were kind of sharing that scene with a couple different companies, and so we did live action reference for it. And so the live action reference, we had Carrie with the helmet, and he was sipping on a drink with a straw, and then he had like a banana in his hand and all that kind of stuff. So the company that was helping us out with the animation actually took it literal. So everything we got back, we had all these different like food forms in his hand, and we're like, oh my god! But one of our animators said, "Twisty straw. We gotta do the twisty straw."
You gotta have the twisty straw. That's all about the straw.
Yeah. So that was at our house. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Induction port. Seriously?
Hi guys. I have a couple questions here. One is for Gavin. I'd like to know what he thought of the mini stick hockey tournament today, given this is probably one of his first time seeing this kind of thing.
That was incredible. Sometimes, this is going to sound really creepy, sometimes when I'm watching a sport, I might get bored watching it, and then I picture everyone naked, right? That would have been the worst sport ever. Everyone's like palming each other's ass and stuff. It's terrible. Who was the dude who went head first through the side? That was you. That was incredible. It's like you had so much momentum that at the time of collision you were exactly horizontal and just sliding through on your face. It was amazing. You missed out on that.
It was incredible.
And my second question is, besides something Gavin has said or done, what's the dumbest thing that you've heard someone say or do at any time?
I'm still processing that you picture sporting events naked. Does anybody else do that ever?
You gotta get Jordan on that.
Yeah. Please, never ever watch MMA. Ever. What's the dumbest thing ever said at the company? I can't. I'll need some time, sir. What?
Freaking cinnamon. Eating the goddamn cinnamon, and Michael almost like dying, choking on cinnamon.
You know my favorite part of that video is that when he goes to put the entire ladle of cinnamon in his mouth, somebody's hand comes in and takes his drink. That is so inspired.
I come in and I said, you realize I just Googled this and you could die. Like, I'm all like the mother going, what the hell are you guys doing down here?
Good, Dad. Somebody's got to look after them.
Michael can't die. We're not that lucky.
Is it your goal for Immersion Season 2 to have one of them die or both of them die?
That is, yeah. Hopefully by the end of season one of them will be dead. I don't know. I mean, the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, there's been so many dumb things said. Chris with the almonds was probably. I just gave him every opportunity. Like I couldn't, show it on the podcast, but I was literally taking the can and going, "You like these? You like walnuts?" And he's like, "They're delicious." They're delicious.
I don't know if you guys saw 4th of July for us. We were working, and one of the animators, Dustin, he was the one that got us introduced into skateboarding again. So he decided he was going to go over the firework as it's lit, and he did it with the American flag, which I was like, dude.
We did an Archie Life based on that.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, if you guys saw it, it was pretty funny.
America. Yeah. Canada.
Canada. Fuck yeah, sorry about the swearing.
Thanks a lot.
Just so you know, our animators asked Kathleen, or no, you asked them if they wanted anything coming back from Canada, and one of them wanted a video of her bumping into someone and them saying sorry.
So I need some help with that. Y'all have to help me because I'm gonna put it on my phone later. So help me out with that.
We'll line up.
1,000 people saying, or 100 people going, sorry. One of the animators, they said, I said, what do you guys want me to bring you back from Canada? And he goes, healthcare.
Whoever thinks they can answer. Wow. All right, and it is, what does Rooster Teeth do? What does Rooster Teeth do? Really?
The border guard. That's the custom.
You make videos on the internet and you make money. Question.
That's the answer. We make videos for the internet and they make money.
You're wizards.
Profit.
Sir, I don't know.
We entertain the world.
I will say it does take me about 45 minutes at every dinner party to explain what I do for a living. It doesn't make any sense at all. My next job I have to go and like be a fireman or construction worker or something. So it makes perfect sense.
Okay, so I've been watching Rooster Teeth for many years now, and I just wanted to know what would be some of the requirements you would need to do to possibly get a job at Rooster Teeth?
Well, Barbara and Gavin got a job at Rooster Teeth. Maybe we should ask them.
There are no requirements.
Join the website when you're 15 years old, and then become the most watched user online.
Have boobs.
Have boobs.
Listen now. I'm almost there.
And then be a member for 8 years. Good luck. And frown. First, Rooster Teeth animated adventure, and I'm frowning, and that's purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
I talk? I would just say make some content that can be seen by everyone, so you have something. Just like if you're talented at something, then do that and put it on the internet, so you can say, hey, look at this, and people might notice it, and those people might be people from the internet, and then they'll pay you to fly to their country and work on things.
Hello.
So, I have a question for you, Bernie. You write a lot of really strong female characters.
Okay.
Which is not necessarily expected for this genre. But you also happen to write a lot of really strong female characters who ultimately fail in their endeavors. Is there any particular reason in that?
Well, first of all, I want to address the first part. I don't think that our female characters are so strong. It's that our male characters are so fucking weak.
Mildly mediocre and they'd still be better than all the other characters.
I think, have we gotten to that line in the season? I don't know, has it come out yet about where Church addresses the fact that all the women he knows are mean? Yeah, so that was a little bit of the character channeling me a little bit. It's like, I'm inspired by all the strong women in my life.
I think you could say the word, it begins with B and ends with itch.
No.
There's nothing you can say that's going to be good on this one.
No, I was just wondering if you really just looking through it, it's really interesting because you do see all these women who are really strong. You see Tex, who's the one that kicks everyone's ass. You see Carolina, who's coming out as a strong character. But you all look at them and they're very successful and they're very talented. But ultimately, there seems to be some kind of physical glass wall holding them back.
Well, Caroline is in the middle of her conflict, in the middle of her struggle. So
seems like she's about to implode.
yeah, I mean, and we kind of know where she ends up because it's a prequel. But I think the journey of getting there will be very interesting to you.
Yeah, I mean, even Sheila. Everybody loves Sheila, but ultimately she ends up kind of as this damaged little robot when they come back to her after the quote-unquote.
Yeah, well, we don't have that many hero characters. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint somebody who's wildly successful. But in particular, Tex as a hero character is, she and it's kind of a tragedy the way she ultimately always fails because, she's kind of trapped in this cycle she's put there by the director. But that's why Carolina, we have a strong female lead for Carolina as well to kind of balance that out. Yeah.
Lindsay is the strongest female character.
You question what Rooster Teeth does is extremely legitimate because every time I explain who Steven is, I have to explain to people what Rooster Teeth does. I have to explain, every time I explain who my boyfriend is, I say, hi, I met him on the internet. That's awkward and embarrassing. And then they go, so what is red versus blues? It's a legitimate concern.
It's tough. No, it's tough. Even in my family world, trying to explain when I first started to my mom, to my parents, right? And they it's like, hey mom, it's a video game. My father would play video games, but it wasn't until they went to PAX and sat in the front row of like 2,000 people. And somebody asked the question, hey, what was the highlight of your life? And we went down through the line of everybody, and I said, my son, having my son. And then Dan, who plays Donut, it was his turn. He goes, having Kathleen's son.
Admittedly, you guys having Elijah Wood do the voice, I can explain to my friends now. It's like they work with Elijah Wood, and they go, oh, wow, they're really awesome.
The one-line answers, like especially what is red versus blue, is just tell people it's a show about drunk robots in space. That's what I think.
I'd like to start us off with, where's the midget microphone?
Fucking oath.
Fucking oath, I love you, Kat. Alright, also, thank you to the RVBTO organizers. I'm totally stealing this microphone in the crowd idea for Archie Oz.
Yeah.
It's awesome, it's a great idea, it's genius. My question is, Bernie, did you say there's 38 people working for Rooster Teeth now?
Yeah, about that, 38.
38?
Yep.
So do all of them know what's happening in RVB in the storyline, or is it just you?
Nope. Well, not everybody works on RVB.
Yeah, there's Achievement Hunter. So like the Achievement Hunter guys, they wouldn't really know what's going on until the episode comes out, just like us.
Yeah, no, and then, so there's even honestly, there's even some voice actors where we have to sit down and give them the primer because they're not going to do 14 hours of, watching all the episodes that are out. So we sit down and give them a primer, but I would say probably not. Yeah. Not as well as the audience knows it.
Yeah. I mean, even the animators, I give them their assignments per episode. Right. So, yeah, I mean, they have to know for continuity.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's...
see, I don't understand with the animators, they would know a fair amount of, what's going on. But, yeah, no, I was wondering about, who in the office actually knows. Like, if someone asked them what's going on, do they even know to answer the question?
They'd be shot if they told you.
I would say that most of the people you think about as Rooster Teeth definitely know the series backwards and forwards,
Right.
And there's a lot of people that just don't have as high visibility, where they do different things.
Okay.
For instance, Teresa, our cleaning lady, she probably doesn't know anything. She just knows Joel's desk is very messy.
Yeah. What about Kara? How much does Kara know?
Kara, there you go.
Kara? I mean, Dave?
Just so you know, I used to call her Kara, and she wouldn't answer me. It's Kara.
I called her Kara when I met her, and she knows exactly what.
Because you're a guy, that's why.
I know.
That's not a bad thing. No, she does not know she does not know the story of. She does not know anything moving forward. Just so you know.
So we actually thought about doing one of those ambush interviews,
right?
That was strictly related to Red versus Blue storylines, but I don't know. We chose not to do that just because it would make it seem like the thing we make is something you're not supposed to know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
I can tell you, Marshall, when he worked for us, Marshall knew nothing about Universal Blue, for instance. And he was the guy we were going to use as the target for that ambush interview. But ultimately, we decided not to do it.
There's a rumor about Marshall. Is he leaving?
What do you mean?
There's a rumor, like he wants to go and do his own thing, I heard.
No, Marshall...
I understand that.
Marshall left and he's like... He still works with us, but he works like on a contract basis. Like, he's actually over in London right now working with the Olympics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, I'll stop hogging the microphone.
So, in some ways, Rooster Teeth is becoming a more kind of traditional production company in that sense, in that people like work on projects, and then when the project's over, they might go away for a little while and then come back when their project either starts back up or when we start something new that uses them. I mean, in the past, it was like everyone just worked there all the time, but most production companies aren't like that.
Yeah, please. I'm not leaving. Never. Damn right.
So just before the next question, first of all, thank you guys for coming out. Yeah. We are going to take a couple more, and then we'll have everyone start drinking and having dinner and enjoying their time here. But we've got some stuff for you guys. We have some presents. Come on in, ladies. We've got some of the limited edition hats.
Thank you. Wow, that's awesome.
We've got some t-shirts in there as well. And we got Rooster towels. And we've also had these memory books made, so we'd like you to bring one back to the office as well, guys.
Yes.
They are awesome, absolutely.
Thank you so much. This is awesome, and as always, thank you for. Oh, I love the memories book. It's got all the logos from the previous years on it.
And so do your shirts as well. You've got they're like ours, and they've got on the back. They've got all the logos as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hold up so you can see it.
Okay, so this is a good time for me to say my little poem. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Conventions will come, events will go, but my heart and soul will always be with RVBTO.
We got time for a couple more questions? Or are we?
Yeah, we'll take two more, and then we'll start drinking again.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay, just before we take the next couple questions, after the Q&A, if you guys have not yet bought your Irish Car Bomb tickets and you would like to enjoy your Irish Car Bombs and get your green wristbands, right out front after the Q&A, you can grab those as well.
I now want to do that.
Yes, you do. Yeah, finish your headlights. I've never done one.
That was no way. There's no way. It's chocolate milk as long as you drink it in 30 seconds. No, it actually really tastes like chocolate milk. After 30 seconds.
My name's Daniel. Long time listener, first time caller. Following you guys in high school, and you guys do amazing work. I hope it continues for another 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 years. But by then, I already want to retire. Quick question. Since the beginning of the series or show started, it was very written based on comedy. In the last couple seasons, it's been more action-oriented. How, as a writer, do you find that balance between the two? And how do you make a decision? Is it just yourself, Bernie, or do you get a team together and decide how it works?
Well, we have a team now of writers, and season 10 is the first time we've ever used more than just me as the primary writer. We have Eddie Rivas, and then Miles stepped up and started writing a lot of the...
Fantastic.
Yeah. Especially a lot of the machinima scenes. He writes a lot of that stuff. And, it's just, for 7 years of doing straight machinima, essentially when we wrote the scripts, I can only use verbs if they appeared as a button on the controller. Like, characters could jump, and they could walk, and they could turn, and they could crouch. That was a big one. And then, so, like, look and say became the operative verbs of Red vs. Blue. And what the animation did was it opened up the comedy to physical comedy and visual comedy in a way that we couldn't do before. And Monty, honestly, Monty writes a lot of that stuff. Like, I remember we were down to the wire on the Tex fight in season 8 where she fights all the Reds and Blues. And it was going to take 5 extra shots to get the shot of Griff going up in the air and then landing on the cement barrier one last time. And he just had a vision for it, and he like stayed up all night just doing those shots. And so he wrote that bit, and you know he's really great when it comes to inspired, motivated choreography for the characters.
So it's become more of a team effort now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, one last quick question, Gavin. Are you still plotting that revenge on the urinal incident?
I'm sure something.
Tread lightly.
Something's gonna happen, maybe.
I
don't know why you would do that.
If I miss it, do it again. He hates that so much.
All right, just everyone's a witness. It's on.
Michael does that to you about once a day.
I saw that happening and did not do anything about it.
There's so much love. So much love.
All right, guys, last question. No pressure.
No pressure. Hi, my name's Justin. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Justin.
Anyway,
welcome to the club.
2 things. One's kind of rhetorical for Barbara. How did you not run into 3 Tim Hortons after about 6 years?
Okay, shut up. We were walking from our hotel up onto King Street. My map was telling me that there was 2 Tim Hortons. I did not see shit. Unless there's some sort of ninja Tim Hortons somewhere. I don't know.
Are you really Canadian?
And then we finally...
To find Tim Hortons.
But wait! We found one. It was under fucking construction. And then we found another one and 8 delicious Tim Hortons.
But wait, we're there, we wanted to get breakfast. It was 11:59, we're in line, and then the menu changed to lunch, and we're like,
One serious question. This, I guess, Bernie or Kathleen would be the best people to ask about this. Why is it called Project Freelancer if they all work very specifically for the director? It's just something that's been bugging me ever since you had that trailer before.
It isn't bugging you? You've been watching a show called Red vs. Blue where nobody fights?
Project Director is really lame sounding, so Project Director.
I don't know, Project AI, well, is there a reason for that? Or is it just you didn't really think of anything past? Thank you, sir. That worse than I intended, I'm sorry.
See, what happened was I was trying to use my dumb brain one day. No, freelance was to indicate that the project itself as a unit works outside of the UNSC. Where the project is a freelance project, like outside of the rules, not the individuals within the unit.
Sit down.
Didn't expect that answer, did you? You know, one time I was at a panel for Halo, and some kid got up, and he asked I'm not kidding, it was like a 37-part question about crystals in the books, and the crystals that appear in this book and that book. I didn't know there was the crystals even existed in the Halo universe. And talking about the crystals, and he went on, and he had a definition of crystals, and he read like half a Wikipedia article about crystals, and how this defied the description of crystals. The question went on for about 15 minutes, and as soon as it was done, Frank O'Connor leaned into the mic and he goes, I knew someone was going to ask this today. And then Frank, honestly, he gave like a 100-part answer that debunked everything the guy said. So, yeah, I listen. I appreciate you looking into it that deeply. But yeah, it's freelancer refers to the project as a whole, and more so, kind of since the project is in a sense the director in more ways than one, because it's also the alpha and everything involved. That's supposed to indicate that the director's working outside the bounds of the UNSC.
Yeah, thanks. That clears a lot up for me.
All right. Thank you guys.
Before I hand the mic back over to John, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to all of you guys for coming out to RBTO. And I also want to give a massive thanks to all the RBTO staff for putting this amazing... Seriously, buy them a drink. They need it.
Yeah.
Buy us a drink, please. But no, as I've said, not me. Buy those guys a drink. Buy the guys out there a drink. Everyone in a purple shirt but me. I can afford them. But thank you guys. We appreciate everybody coming every year, as you guys always do. And just for my own question, I guess. Do you guys know on July 9th, 2005, how many members there were on the RVB community site the day of RVBTO 1?
Oh, on the side? On the side?
Yeah, how many registered members there were on RVBTO 1?
What year was it? What year is it? What year?
2005.
2005. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to say 125,000. 200,000.
$1.
$1.
Hey, I'll say 250.
Gavin, anything at all?
25, right in the middle. Yeah, 225.
225. 219,010 members. As of this morning, 1.28 million. So since we started bringing you guys up here, more than 1 million people have joined the site.
That's why it's so popular. Good job. Good job.
Again, not me, it's all Joe. But thanks again, guys. We'll have a lot of stuff going on. And, oh God. And once again, for those of you guys looking to grab your Car Bomb tickets, that'll be outside. Kathleen, Barbara, Gavin, and Bernie, thank you very much for the Q&A. And we're going to have Jeff Rupert coming up later as well. But for the meantime, everybody drink!